Hello friends, this is Dr. Amarjit Kaur. I am Professor of Accounting and Business Communication at the Department of Management, Gurugram University, Gurugram. It's my privilege that I am here with you to talk on a very interesting topic, PowerPoint presentation. So this topic is in continuation of the business presentations which we discussed in the previous session in this regard, and of course is the part of business communication. So, the focus of my discussion would be around how to communicate effectively while using PowerPoint presentation during meetings, during any kind of marketing presentations, any pitches, any mergers. So, that would be my focus point. So, friends, as this name is very commonly known as PPT, PowerPoint presentation, and almost I am sure everybody would have heard it many a times. But still there is a need to talk about this topic because this is one as a part of the business communication subject, and secondly each one of you wherever you go and work are going to use PowerPoint presentation in your career, right? So this actually narrates the importance of this topic. So coming to what is PowerPoint presentation. So whenever we are presenting any idea, any concept using various slides, so those slides which are depicting graphical or visual interpretation of some data, some information in a very creative and interactive manner, that is what is called a PowerPoint presentation. So what is happening here? We are using slides to communicate. Okay, so that's the one important point, because if you remember or recall from the previous session in this regard, so when we are talking orally and explaining something on a whiteboard, even that is a presentation, that is a business presentation, but not a PowerPoint presentation. So the difference is when we are using the software from Microsoft and we are using various slides, and making it very creative, interactive, using visuals, graphs, etc., then this is a PowerPoint presentation or PPT. Okay, so this refers to a formal introduction or information about new business product, ideas, practices. Let's say I want to launch a new product. I am a product manager in a company, and I am presenting in front of my board members, convincing them how this product is expected to give so much revenue to the company. So I made up a presentation on PowerPoint using Microsoft PowerPoint program and then presented it. So I am using this PowerPoint presentation for introduction of a new product. Same way I may have new idea. So I may have a new idea to replace an existing system or a process with a new one. A system, a practice, which is already there, but I want to modify it. So I am proposing this modification in the existing practice with the help of a presentation by using the software PowerPoint, right? So then it becomes PowerPoint presentation. So basically any idea, any concept, any information being shared about a product, about a practice, about a feedback, about a complaint, about an inquiry, about services. So that becomes, so whenever we are using a PowerPoint software or PowerPoint program of Microsoft, it becomes PowerPoint presentation. So PowerPoint presentation works like a slideshow. In fact, the slides which I am using for the purpose of this particular lecture, even that particular slideshow is PowerPoint presentation, because slides are coming one after the another. This presentation which is there in front of you is prepared by using the Microsoft software PowerPoint presentation. Okay. So this PowerPoint presentation was actually introduced as a program named Presenter in way back in 1984 by Thomas Rudkin and Dennis Austin. So they actually introduced this slide show or slide presentation program which they named it as presenter in 1984, almost, you can imagine how many years, about 40 years ago. Now, the moment it was introduced as presenter by these two guys, Microsoft purchased it, later on, not very far, immediately, almost immediately, and then Microsoft renamed it as PowerPoint program. Okay, so that's the history of the PowerPoint presentation. So thus, this PowerPoint presentation, in a business communication for the purpose of business operation, or we may call it as business presentation, which is created on a software from Microsoft that allows users to add audio or video, visual effects. I can add sound, I can add some picture, I can add some pictorial, I can add some actual picture of any real human being. I can take pictures from Google, I can take pictures from any other source, and so I can have audio or visuals or both. So basis on whatever my requirement is, so that's what the PowerPoint presentation means. It can be created this way. Thus, the sharing of any idea through PowerPoint slides can be called as PowerPoint presentation. So, any idea being shared when we are using the PowerPoint slides, it becomes PowerPoint presentation. So, you are presenting by using slides of Microsoft program, okay, PowerPoint presentation program. So, this may include a summary of any key information about company's plan, product, practices. Let's say there's a strategic plan being prepared by the senior management, and they are presenting it to the shareholders during the meeting. So there's a summary of key information about company's plans. Same way, information, a summary has been prepared about the products being sold in different areas, their proportion in sales, their value, units being sold, so then it becomes a summary of key information regarding products. This could be about different practices. Now, what is the practice of solving complaint received by the customer care department from a customer? So, we are talking about our practice, that how does my company deal with complaints regarding any aspect of the product or the service we offer, right? So, I am presenting a summary. So, even that can be presented through a PowerPoint presentation. Now, this PowerPoint presentation can be used both for either the internal as well as external audiences. If I am using a PowerPoint presentation for my internal members, like my strategic plan being shared by my senior management, my product strategy, product summary is being shared by the sales executive or sales head to the sales department head or the country head, like that. So, it is internal use. The same way, if somebody is coming to the client's office and presenting about the products, whatever we sell, and basis on the need survey of that company, if I am presenting that these are the products I offer or my company offer, and I propose that out of the total kitty of the products, these products will serve you well, looking at the requirement you have. So, I am presenting my product details with their utility, with their cost, with other requirements or specification to the prospective client. So, this becomes external presentation, or my audience are here external, right? Same way, if somebody is going to the government office and presenting about how you are contributing in protecting pollution or protecting the environment. So, even that becomes an external audience, and presentation would be known as external presentation. So, the point is, we can use this PowerPoint presentation to deal with internal as well as external audiences. Now, the next point is that whenever we prepare our PowerPoint slide very professionally, well designed, so it really gives a very high professional image to you. So it's important for you as a professional working in a company to present it very professionally in a well designed format so that it becomes impressive. And before you actually start creating a PowerPoint slide, make sure you visualize that what is the objective, why I am going to prepare this presentation, whom for, who are my audiences, right? What would be interest to them. They would be interested to know the numbers, or they would be interested to know the picture of my product or my service or my process. So we need to really visualize before we start creating a PowerPoint slide. Now, next thing I would like to discuss that how do we actually prepare a PowerPoint presentation, how to prepare a PPT or PowerPoint presentation. So I am going to discuss that in next few slides about this. The first thing, as I said, is that before you really make up your mind about design, content, everything, just decide, just review the objective of preparing the PowerPoint presentation. Every presentation is prepared for a specific objective, right? For times we just present to teach. For example, this particular slide or the PowerPoint presentation which I am using for this purpose here in session, we are showing you in between, is prepared or has been prepared simply to teach. So it has an objective to teach. So and I want to keep it as simple as possible so that there's no hanky panky business, there's no show off in this slide. It's just a simple straight PowerPoint presentation so that you concentrate on the discussion. You are not much focusing on the design aspect or on the audio visual aspect, because I excluded them consciously, because my purpose is to teach them and I want to retain your attention for long time on the discussion. Though I am using bullets very well, very carefully, the color coding has been used very carefully, but the purpose is to teach you. So I didn't forget that I am using this PowerPoint to teach my audiences, to make them learn about what is PowerPoint presentation. So first is to decide, right, or to review the objective. Second is visualize what interests the audience. I need to visualize, I need to think who all my audience are, who are my receivers, right, receiver of the information. So basically through this PowerPoint presentation, I am sharing some information, some knowledge, right? So I need to visualize what is the interest, what would they like to know. Same thing you need to do when you are preparing a presentation for your business, for any aspect of the business. You need to visualize, are you presenting to your peers, are you presenting to your middle level management or to the top level management, who you are, what position do you have. Can you go on little bit semi-formal in the presentation, or you need it to be only formal? Will my audience be interested in numbers? Can they comprehend the numbers if they are just presented in a table? Or I would need a graphical or presentation. Will they be able to visualize in one color, bullets, or they need long sentence description in the presentation itself? You need to visualize every small thing. Do I need to give some break? Do I need to add some video? Do I need to add some audio? Or it is just without audio, video is enough for them? So you need to seek answers by sitting some time over this presentation before you prepare it in actual. The third thing before you prepare, you need to have a PowerPoint software. You need to have Microsoft, Windows, whichever 2011, 10, 9, whichever you have. And then the first thing is, before we actually start preparing. Open PowerPoint software. Now in the in the left panel, select new, because you are going to select a new PowerPoint, right, because you are going to prepare a new one. So select a new PowerPoint from the PowerPoint software, from the drop down menu, and then thereafter select an option to create a presentation from scratch. So we call it as blank presentation. So the moment you click on it, I would really recommend, if you have not been preparing presentation, which is not quite possible though, right, I am assuming that you must have tried preparing a presentation at some point of time, if not very regular. So, and you would be knowing how to select. So select a blank presentation to prepare a new presentation. Okay. Then for this purpose, you may use readily available design by selecting any of the templates. There are a couple of templates available in different programs. Microsoft 2009 has different, 10 has 11 has different. So select the one which you think is appropriate, which design basis on the audiences, who are your audience, right, basis on the requirement in the office. Sometimes there's a clear instruction in private office not to use any color than blue, not to use any color for the text than black. There are instructions not to use any font than Times New Roman or Calgary, right? So there are a couple of instructions around, but if there are not or none, make sure you select a right template, or you use some other template, not from the Microsoft, from other softwares, and be sure about the design of the template. After that, make sure you use tips which are there in the software. PowerPoint software by Microsoft has a tab which says take a tour. So you should actually take a tour if you are a beginner. If you have not prepared much of the presentation, I would suggest select take a tour option from the drop down menu, and then select create. So if you will take a tour, it will be very, very handy, helpful information to you, telling you exactly how to navigate from this software, though this is not difficult at all. Choose an appropriate layout for your title slide, for your main slide, for your concluding slide, from the slide master, right? The moment we click, we have couple of main drop down. For example, home is there, view is there, etc., etc. So slide master will be there in view. So from the slide master, you can choose title slide, main slide, and concluding slide. What would be their layout, their design? It could be a big box with a thank you in the middle. It could be just border. So you will find couple of options here. Different layouts are there. Layout of with the header and the footer. I mean the header, main header and subhead is there. There's a layout of just straight plain blank sheet. So you have to think what would be the layout for my main body or main slide, title slide, my concluding slide. Then after that, start typing the text, the matter, what you want to communicate on the slide. Use as much short and concise word as possible, and try to guide your audiences through discussion. We should not be having so much cluttered text on the slide. We should let our slides breathe, as they say, right? So let your slides breathe, have minimum text on the slides, and use as small, simple, short and concise words as possible. And otherwise too, if you remember, see, this concise is one of the C's in 7 C's for effective communication. So basically PowerPoint presentation is nothing but a written communication, isn't it? So you're getting my point. So, this conciseness of words is important, conciseness of message is important to prepare an effective presentation on Microsoft Presenter program. Now, once you decided about the layout, once you can actually select double box text layout. You can use a text picture combination where you have a text as well as a picture, both can be shown, or there could be a choice of a layout where you have two boxes, one box on the left, one on the right. Of course, it depends upon the objective. If I have to compare two things, I may like to use double box. If I have to show something along with the picture, I may use text picture box, layout. I may use the T-chart shape layout. I may use TT chart shaped layout, and if required, I may use matrix chart or sequence chart or Gantt chart layouts. There are so many different charts layout available, right? So matrix is when we are presenting something very complex. So then in that case we can use a matrix chart layout. So depending upon the objective of my presentation, I will select which layout I would wish to use for. So be it double text, be it text picture or straight text, as I said. It could be a straight text. The slides which I am using for my presentation are straight text. I didn't use any box, I didn't use any T chart or matrix chart because it's not required. My objective was to keep the presentation as simple as possible. That's what I did. So I kept that fact in my mind. But if you are presenting, you are comparing some two products, you are comparing results of 2 quarters, you are comparing comments received from different people or different offices, you may use text with picture, text with layouts, box text layout, right? Then a T-chart layout can be used in a separate item so that they can be viewed side by side. So you have a choice to use T-chart layout, T, the capital letter T in English, so English alphabet T. So you have something on the left, something on the right, and it can be used for separate items so that they can be viewed side by side. One side you are showing outcome of product A for the sales results, and on the other side in the same T chart you are using outcome or you are showing outcome of product B. So this is also a possibility. For more complex interactions, as I said, you can use matrix layout, which may be used by dividing spaces into quadrants. You can have different quadrants, 4 quadrants can be, so there are 4 quadrants in the slide. One, for example, if I am carrying SWOT analysis of any situation, any company, any product, so I have strengths, weaknesses, threats, challenges, everything about that company or product. So I may use a matrix layout. It has 4 quadrants. I am showing all details in, so I am showing details of strengths in one quadrant, then threats in another, challenges in another, like that. Then once we are done, once we have written the text by using whichever the layout we decided, by using whichever the text box we decided, the next thing I would suggest, make sure you go to the view button, drop down menu on the top right of the PowerPoint program, view, then go to slide show, or you can simply click on F5 to see through or review all the slides of your presentation from the title slide to concluding thanking slide, right? So go to view, then go to slide show, or simply click on F5 and go one by one. Review it from the audience perspective. Think, am I able to present my idea, my message loud and clearly? Am I able to convince my audience through the help of this presentation? Am I not confusing my audience? Am I answering all the perspective questions? Am I concentrate to the requirements if there was a requirement and basis on that you are presenting? You need to answer all these questions, because if you are able to review it very carefully, there is a very high rate of success from the PowerPoint presentation you made. So as I said, provided you are careful in reviewing, provided you are careful in remembering, in considering the requirement of audiences, in considering what will work best for the audience, in considering the objective of the presentation. So if you were mindful of all these facts, certainly your presentation is going to be very, very effective. So once you have reviewed and you found that everything is in place and is in order, and there is no need to edit it, just publish it, share it, send it, deliver it, because this presentation is delivering the clear and correct message. But if you feel there is some correction required, you may like to edit the presentation before you actually publish or present. So review it and edit this. So mind you, it's important to go at least once or twice to the presentation to make it very, very effective and useful. So I hope these are the few things which will help you to prepare a PowerPoint presentation, to share your views, your message through this software of Microsoft. So thank you very much, my friends, for being with me. Thank you.